Amelia Bedelia, number 5. Shapes up. Chapter 1. Heads up. Amelia Bedelia did not wake up and say to herself, "Gee, what a beautiful day. I can't wait to look silly in front of all my friends." Amelia Bedelia would never wish that on anyone, much less herself. But that is exactly what happened. Double worse, it happened twice. After doing fractions all morning, Amelia Bedelia and her friends were ready for recess. When Miss Robbins let them out early, they raced to the playground. Last one to the water fountain has to add up 10 fractions, except Amelia Bedelia, yelled Rose. Rose was making an exception for Amelia Bedelia, because Amelia Bedelia was the reason they had gotten out early for recess. She had given their math teacher, Miss Robbins, a headache. Here's why. Amelia Bedelia said, "Miss Robbins, at the beginning of math class, what if I give you a pie?" "Thank you," said Amelia Bedelia. "I love pie." "I'm not really giving you a pie," said Miss Robbins. "Just pretend." "Okay," said Amelia Bedelia. Miss Robbins continued, "Now suppose 8 people want a piece." "No problem," said Amelia Bedelia. "I'd cut it into 8 equal pieces." "That's correct," said Miss Robbins. "But what if you had served half the pie?" "And then 4 more people showed up." "I'd bake them cupcakes," said Amelia Bedelia. "Pretend cupcakes." "Pretend you can't bake," said Miss Robbins. "Stick with the pie. What fraction would the others get?" "I never tasted fraction pies," said Amelia Bedelia. "Is it good?" "A fraction isn't a flavor," said Miss Robbins. "It's a piece of a whole." "But wholes are empty," said Amelia Bedelia. "Am I serving pies of pieces of nothing?" "I mean the whole pie," said Miss Robbins. "I'll give you a hint. Half of the pie is gone, right? So you'd cut the other half into 8 pieces. 8/16, which is equal to 4/8, or 2/4. "Then that's easy," said Amelia Bedelia. "If half the pie is just 2/4, I'd spend 50 cents to buy another half a pie for the new people." "Pretend you don't have any cents," said Miss Robbins. "I don't have to pretend that," said Amelia Bedelia. "Sharing 1 penny puny pie with 12 people makes no sense at all." The other kids had been trying not to laugh all along, but now they laughed out loud. Miss Robbins is not laughing. She was rubbing her forehead. "Pretend you know everything there is to know about fractions," Miss Robbins said with a sigh. "We'll try this again tomorrow. I think we all deserve an early recess." This was too good to be true. No one moved a muscle until Miss Robbins added, "I'm not pretending." Amelia Bedelia and her friends took turns drinking from the water fountain. Then Rose and Dawn picked teams for a game of kickball. One after another, girls joined Rose and Dawn on the field, until only Amelia Bedelia was left. It was Dawn's turn, and Amelia Bedelia began jogging toward her. "I choose the water fountain," said Dawn. Amelia Bedelia stopped in her tracks. The other girls burst out laughing. "That's mean," said Rose. "You have to pick Amelia Bedelia." "Why?" asked Dawn. "She makes mistakes. Last time we lost because of her. At least the water fountain won't goof up." "I'll tell you why," said Rose. "If the water fountain is on your team, then my team can't get a drink without your permission." "The water fountain is for everybody." That's why Amelia Bedelia is for you. Amelia Bedelia's cheeks were getting redder and redder. She had never felt so embarrassed in her entire life. How could she come in second place to a rusty, leaky water fountain? Wasn't they all friends? Had Dawn forgotten that she had feelings? Dawn just shook her head. Then she mentioned to Amelia Bedelia to come over and join her. Amelia Bedelia felt like running the other way, running all the way home instead. She nodded, put a smile on her face, and jogged over to join Dawn's team. Dawn put Amelia Bedelia on the outfield, the way outfield. Amelia Bedelia stood there by herself for the entire game. But right before recess ended, Holly kicked the ball with all her might. It soared up, and high until it was a tiny dot, like a period at the end of a sentence. Then it began falling, down, toward Amelia Bedelia. "Catch it!" hollered Dawn from the pitcher's mound. "Catch it and we win!" Amelia Bedelia put her arms up and ran toward where she thought the ball would land. The sun was right in her eyes. She had to remind herself that it was just a red, bouncy ball she was hoping to catch, and not a furry asteroid screaming toward Earth. She could do it. She could catch it. But it hurt to look into the sun and try to see the ball. Her eyes were watering. Amelia Bedelia blinked, glanced at the ground for just a second. She glimpsed Holly rounded second base on her way home with the winning run. Boing, the ball hit the top of Amelia Bedelia's head so hard it knocked her on her butt. The ball bounced back up in the air. Penny made a diving catch. Right before the ball hit the ground, Holly was out. "Game over! They've won!" Everyone ran to Amelia Bedelia to make sure she was all right. Dawn helped her up with Penny, brushing the dirt and grass off her back. "Awesome teamwork," said Dawn. "Amelia Bedelia, you can be on my side any day."